Hello, this is Ricardo with Spectrum Center, and today we're going to be talking about how to generate a coverage plot inside of Spectrum Me. So I'm going to use a sample network for this example. So I already have my stations. They're around Lake Tahoe in California. So I have my station set up. I have all the information, coordinates, antenna height, power, which is ERP, frequency, and so from here, I'm just going to select my stations. So it's going to select all of them at once and then going to run my path loss matrix. For this case, I'm actually just going to use Lonely Rice, but we do have many propagation models inside of Spectrum E besides Lonely Rice, 1812, 525, Okumura Davison, among other propagation models. So I'm just going to launch Lonely Rice. So from here, just define your parameters for the propagation model. So in this case, I'm going to leave it as is. So 2 meters for my receiver antenna height, 100 kilometers around each station. Confidence and reliability, I'm going to leave it 50-50 for this case. And I'm going to leave average ground continental temperate for this example. I'm not going to add clutter attenuation, but potentially we could use TSP88 if desired. And so I'm going to tell it to run at the moment. So once it finishes running, we will go ahead and tell it to generate our coverage plot. So now that it finished running, we can generate our coverage plot. So again, we can select all of our records if desired to generate a coverage plot for all of our records. So with them selected, we can run the multiple functions that would generate a coverage plot for you. So we have DBM and DBU tuckout or downlink. We have tuck-in or uplink, both in DBM and DBU. We have many other ones, power flux density. As you can see here, there's many of them. For today, we'll focus on the tuckout. So let's say DBM tuckout. So station selected, we can go and generate our coverage plot. So for the DBM tuckout, because it is a power received versus field strength, which would be dBu, we can add antenna gain for our receiver if desired. And we have the option to do it in dBi or dBd. I am not going to apply any receiver antenna gain for this example. The next case is safe prediction as. So inside of Spectrum E, any coverage plot, whether in this case it's a power received, it could be field strength received, or even interference analysis coverage or plot, that would be referred as a prediction inside of Spectrum E. So you can give it any name you want for your prediction. Um, Feel free to name it whatever you would like for your coverage to be. I am going to leave it the default. Just keep in mind, if you reuse the same name a second time, it will overwrite the previous prediction of that exact name. So I'm going to leave it as it is for right now. DL, downlink, DBM, that is the unit, and composite. Then we have the options here. The first one, prediction type. So the prediction type, it's a drop-down menu. So we have composite and we have site by site. We'll take a look at both of them. The first one we'll talk about is going to be the composite. The composite is going to be the combination of all of your records that you selected. So in this case, I selected 3 records. So my prediction is going to have the coverage of those 3 records in one coverage plot by itself. And then we have the option when we select a composite to use it for the selected objects or all objects. So in this case, it doesn't matter what I pick because I already have all my 3 records selected. But if you had, let's say, 100 records and you did not want to select all of them by pressing in each one of them or even using this select all, you could just select and use all objects. So I'm going to tell it to run And once it finishes running, it will generate the plot displayed in the map and will take you directly to the map page where you can see your coverage plot. So we can see the coverage plot now in the map itself. And we can see on the left side the color palette. So in this case, nothing below negative 89 dBm is being colored. Back in the network page, again, I'm going to re-execute that function, but this time instead of using Composite, we will use site by site. So it's going to scroll to where I have the dBm talkout. Going to press to run it. Prediction type. Now just going to select site by site. So what this is going to do is generate one prediction file, one plot per station. So instead of seeing all three of them together, we'll see one at a time. Now for this one, what it's going to do for that per site is that it's going to use this name, DL DBM composite, and then it's going to apply our call sign. That means that we do need a different call sign per each one of our records. Keep in mind, if you use the same prediction name, it will overwrite the previous one of that same exact name. And with that, it's going to tell it to run. And before I do, it is going to be important that site-by-site prediction will only apply to the selected objects. So if you have 100 records and you didn't select all 100, this function won't apply to all of them. It will only apply to the selected records. So it is going to be important to select your records before you execute this function. Now, once this one runs, because it does generate multiple predictions, it doesn't activate any of them by itself. So it doesn't do it automatically. So we're still seeing the old prediction. Now, what I'm going to do is just going to take a screenshot here just so that I can bring this up and we can compare the composite, which is what we're seeing right now, versus the site by site. So from the map page, we can go through predictions. Also, when we do have a prediction active, bottom left corner of the map, we can see the name of our prediction. If we press on that name, or if we press here on the predictions, we'll be taken to my predictions page. From here, we can see all of our predictions in our account. So right now I have a prediction active, which is the downlink DBM composite. At the list of existing predictions, we can see that there are three other predictions that we just generated as well. We could take a look at the timestamps as well. So we have the composite for the east station, composite for the north station, and composite for the south station, or basically each one of them are individually east, north, and south, my three records. And then we have the composite, which was all of my stations together. So let's select north, for example. And we can see at the top current prediction, it is the north station. So if we go to the map, we should only see the north station, the coverage only for that one station. Now, as I mentioned, I'm going to put the screenshot and compare the two so we can actually see the difference that this makes for our coverage. Back in predictions, we can activate, let's say, the east station and take a look at what only the area that the east station covered and not compare, not see the north or the south station. So let's go back in predictions, activate the east station, like I mentioned, go back in the map, and we can see the area only east station is covering. And if desired to stop displaying a prediction, we can go back into predictions and just press unselect, and no prediction is being displayed in the map. Now for the downlink DVU, it will work exactly the same. So I can just showcase that the only difference between the DVU and the DVM is going to be that receiver antenna gain. But otherwise, they will work exactly the same. And that concludes today's session. If you guys have any questions, just let our team know so we can assist you.